The health journeys showcased on My 600-Pound Life often feature many twists and turns, and unfortunately, not every story has a happy ending. These are the My 600-Pound Life stars who have sadly passed on. Texas-born Henry Foots was one of the first individuals showcased during the debut season of My 600-Pound Life. His lifelong food addiction had left him with a weight of more than 700 pounds by the age of 47, which prompted him to seek out Dr. Now's program. After adopting the dietary requirements and undergoing gastric bypass surgery, Foots dropped 340 pounds. Foots remained even more determined to bring himself back to health after his heart stopped during his second skin removal surgery. Revived by doctors, he pressed on and brought his weight down to 275 pounds. Now able to return to his previous life, Foots began driving a shuttle bus but suffered what was described as a medical episode in 2012 that resulted in his vehicle striking and killing a pedestrian. 1 year later, Foots died of unspecified causes on May 16, 2013, making him the first of the participants on My 600-Pound Life who passed away over the course of the series run. Introduced in Season 4, Sean Milliken topped 1,000 pounds at his highest as a result of childhood abuse and a high school injury. Complicating matters further was his codependent relationship with his mother, Renee, who provided him with an abundance of food in the hopes of healing his emotional wounds.
I'm a mom, and when your kids say, "I'm hungry, Mom," you want to feed a kid.
The dynamic between Sean and Renee proved to be the biggest hurdle for Dr. Now to overcome in his attempts to aid the young man. Sean actually gained weight after undertaking the doctor's 800-calorie-a-day meal plan, which resulted in his hospitalization. However, the stay proved beneficial, with Sean losing over 250 pounds. But upon returning home to Renee, he regained nearly 50 pounds. A cycle of weight loss and gain followed. Sean lost a staggering 455 pounds after undergoing bariatric sleeve surgery, but gained weight under Renee's care. Dr. Now suspected a situation that resembled Munchausen by proxy, a mental health condition described by the Cleveland Clinic as when a caregiver conflates or lies about a loved one's illness. Dr. Now readmitted him to the hospital, starting the revolving door of loss and gain all over again. Renee's death in 2017, combined with the loss of Sean's home in Hurricane Harvey, only exacerbated his health problems. His weight ballooned from 493 pounds to 688 pounds, and then down to 489, as he transitioned time and again from hospital to home. After returning from a hospital stay, Sean died of complications from an infection, which led to cardiac arrest on February 17, 2019. He was only 29 years old. James King was 791 pounds when he appeared on Season 5 of My 600-Pound Life. King's weight was the result of overeating brought on by childhood abandonment and the unthinkable double tragedy of his mother's death and the loss of his family home on the same day.
I was just so depressed, tore up, that, I couldn't even go to school. It seemed like all I wanted to do was eat.
His weight left him reliant on his wife Lisa and children to care for his basic functions. At the urging of his father, King signed up to appear on the show in 2017. His tenure on the series was marked by turmoil. King was reluctant to follow Dr. Now's diet and exercise plan, and like Milliken, actually gained weight rather than losing it. After King topped the scale at 840 pounds, Dr. Now confronted him and his wife about his eating habits, which led to his dismissal from the program. King did manage to lose 340 pounds by 2020, but a series of health complications, including liver and kidney failure, preceded his death at the age of 49 on April 3, 2020. While Henry Foots was the first My 600-Pound Life participant to die during the series run, New Jersey native Robert Buchel was the first to tragically lose his life during the filming of his episode. Buchel weighed 842 pounds when he appeared on Season 6, the result of lifelong overeating motivated in part by assault at the hands of a neighbor and the death of his brother at the age of 19. Buchel lost more than 100 pounds during his first month in Dr. Now's program and lost nearly another 100 pounds soon after. These changes allowed him to walk on his own for the first time in quite a while, and surgery to remove lymphedema masses, tissues swollen by the body's inability to drain fluid through its lymphatic system, allowed him to bring his weight down to 502 pounds. However, the surgery also left Buchel addicted to pain medication, which upended further progress on his recovery. On November 15, 2017, the 41-year-old suffered a heart attack in his sleep and died after being rushed to a nearby hospital. The death of a beloved aunt spurred South Carolina native James L.B. Bonner to develop an overeating problem as a child, which ultimately brought him to My 600-Pound Life in Season 6. At the time of his appearance, Bonner was dealing with an addiction to both food and alcohol, the loss of a foot in a vehicular accident, and a body weight that topped 600 pounds, leaving him unable to care for himself. After committing to Dr. Now's program, Bonner dropped 316 pounds, and after undergoing weight loss surgery, he wrapped his tenure on the show weighing 326 pounds. Bonner continued to maintain what appeared to be a healthy lifestyle and lost additional weight, which he detailed on his social media accounts. However, his outwardly positive attitude also disguised an inner turmoil that would lead him to a fateful decision. In a social media post in August 2018, Bonner shared an ominous message, writing, "I've realized a few things over the last few days, and it's time that I face my demons head on." A welfare check by police to his home in Lexington, South Carolina, found the 30-year-old Bonner dead from a self-inflicted wound. Following his death, Bonner's family filed suit against Megalomedia, the production company for My 600-Pound Life, claiming that they did not provide mental health assistance for participants and alleging that they ignored warning signs of Bonner's mental state.
There's days where I feel so worthless, I think.
I'd be better off in the ground.
Personal tragedy is a recurring theme in the backstories of many My 600-Pound Life participants, but Season 6 subject Lisa Fleming's past was particularly harrowing. Food was a solace to Fleming as a child, especially after her parents' divorce, but it was also a punishment. She revealed that her mother made her eat an entire cake after taking a small taste. The murder of her brother further complicated her emotional issues, which led to a total weight of 704 pounds when she appeared on the series. Left immobile by her weight and trapped in the same bed in which her mother died from obesity-related problems, Fleming sought to break the cycle of self-abuse through Dr. Now's program. However, she found it difficult to stay the course and lose the pounds needed for weight loss surgery. She was ultimately dropped from the program after 6 months. Shortly after the airing of her episode, Fleming died of a heart attack at the age of 50 in August 2018. Her daughter Danielle revealed that she had actually lost enough weight to undergo the surgery and dropped 200 pounds. However, as Danielle noted to TMZ, at the end she was sick and her body was tired and her body just gave out. Season 7 introduced viewers to Kelly Mason, a North Carolina native whose 725-pound weight had brought on a host of health issues. Suffering from high blood pressure, heart problems, type 2 diabetes, blood clots, and arthritis, Mason had been hospitalized for congestive heart failure shortly before meeting with Dr. Now. Before long, he told her in no uncertain terms that her life was in jeopardy if she did not begin a weight loss program. Mason proved to be one of the most dedicated participants in Dr. Now's program. She lost more than 200 pounds before qualifying for weight loss surgery and remained committed to maintaining her health after the procedure. After losing an additional 100 pounds, Mason weighed in at 383 pounds. Unfortunately, she was unable to beat back her myriad of health issues, and the 41-year-old died in her sleep after suffering a heart attack in the 10th month of her time in the program on February 15, 2019.
I wouldn't tell you that Kelly tried really hard and fought all the way to the end.
Gina Krasley appeared in Season 8 to contend with weight gain that had rendered her, in her own words, immobile. Family issues, including abandonment and abuse by her father, spurred her to seek solace in food. As a result, she weighed more than 300 pounds by her teenage years and eventually surpassed 600 pounds, which sent her to Dr. Now for help. Krasley reportedly lost 50 pounds while filming Season 8 in 2020 and noted on her YouTube channel that she had lost nearly 300 pounds by 2021. However, she also contended with numerous health problems, including hospitalization for an infection in 2021 and nerve issues in her hands and feet that resulted in her losing the ability to walk. Krasley was also one of 9 former My 600-Pound Life participants who sued the series, with her lawsuit alleging negligence to her mental health problems on the part of Megalomedia. The 30-year-old Krasley died at her home on August 1, 2021. No cause of death was given. As with many participants on My 600-Pound Life, Renee Biran came to Dr. Now in Season 6 after a lifetime of trauma led to weight gain that put her health in considerable jeopardy. Family problems, including molestation by her stepfather, followed by teen pregnancy, an abusive marriage, and a debilitating car accident left the Georgia native at 631 pounds, and dependent on her 6 children for her basic needs. A strict diet and therapy prescribed by Dr. Now appeared to help her reduce enough weight to qualify for bariatric sleeve surgery, which led to Biran dropping a total of 250 pounds during the course of her appearances on the show. However, her health problems continued after her departure from the series, most notably through a diagnosis of the autoimmune disease Guillain-Barré syndrome. Fans of Biran, who kept up with her post-show progress via social media, saw fewer posts from her after the beginning of 2020. A year later, word came via social media and online obituaries that Biran had died at the age of 56 on May 14, 2021. No cause of death was given. Just 24 years old at the time of her appearance in Season 1, Ashley Randall was the youngest participant on the series up to that point. However, she shared a background similar to many of the other individuals showcased on the program, struggling with a mother whom she viewed as demeaning in her comments about her weight. Randall weighed 617 pounds when she contacted Dr. Now, but her determination as well as gastric bypass surgery led to her achieving a weight of 265 by the end of her 5th year in his program. However, the death of her father in 2015, as well as her inability to achieve the weight needed for a skin removal surgery, upended her program, and at the time of her appearance on the Where Are They Now special, Randall's weight had risen to 312 pounds. She returned to Now's program, and with the support of her mother, with whom she had made up, she dropped back down to 272 pounds. Details regarding Randall's life after that final appearance were few, but an online obituary confirmed that after being hospitalized in her hometown of Killeen, Texas, she died on October 2, 2021. At the time of her death, Randall was only 40 years old. Season 7 introduced audiences to Destinee Lashaee, the series' first transgender participant. Lashaee struggled with both her weight, which had reached 699 pounds at the time of filming, and depression. She turned to food to combat her pain, but by the time she appeared on the series, she realized her habits had gone too far.
The thing that's saving me every day is also what's destroying my life now, to the point where I can feel it killing me.
Determined to rise above her issues, Lashaee eventually lost more than 500 pounds after her appearance on My 600-Pound Life, qualifying for skin removal surgery. She also drew a number of followers to her social media accounts, where she regularly posted positive and affirming messages, as well as photographs of her physical transformation. Sadly, on February 8, 2022, her brother Wayne Compton posted news on his Facebook page that Lashaee had died. Though no official cause of death was given for Lashae's passing, her brother wrote, "I'm sorry you felt alone. I'm sorry you felt you had nobody else to turn to. I'm sorry you felt you had no other option." Angela Gutierrez was the subject of a Season 7 episode of My 600-Pound Life, in which the Ohio resident failed to make many inroads into losing weight. She began the episode at 608 pounds, despite the fact that she had previously had weight loss surgery, and came to Dr. Now as a last resort. According to Gutierrez, she wanted to shed the pounds to be there for her family. While she needed care herself, the 44-year-old was also responsible for looking after her daughter, who had been diagnosed with multiple sclerosis, and her cousin's 11-year-old child.
As hard as it is for me to sit at a kitchen table, I do it because I want Lacey to have a normalcy.
However, she found the process difficult from the start and only made it to Houston after reaching out to a former boyfriend who was able to transport her to Texas in his van on a journey that proved tough for Gutierrez. After struggling to adjust to living in Houston, Gutierrez quickly dropped out of the program and moved back to Ohio. She did have some video calls with Dr. Now, claiming she was still losing weight, but was clearly using oxygen and didn't look any healthier to Dr. Now's eyes. Outside of posts on her various social media accounts, Gutierrez largely stayed out of the limelight after her appearance on the show. However, she did state her support for a lawsuit against Media that was filed by several people who had been involved in the series. She died on March 21st, 2023 at the age of 49, less than 4 years after she made her television debut. Affectionately known as Mr. Buttermilk Biscuits, thanks to a viral video in which he performed a song about the snack, Larry Myers Jr. was the subject of a Season 10 episode of My 600-Pound Life in 2022. He was among the show's largest participants, weighing some 940 pounds. That left him living from his bed as he was too heavy to support his own weight. Speaking on the show, Myers Jr. explained how the death of his mother and then later his nephew prompted a binge-eating spree that led to him putting on hundreds of pounds. He found mixed success on the show, but eventually managed to lose around 100 pounds. However, this was not enough for him to be approved for further weight loss surgery under Dr. Now, and his weight went up and down after his episode concluded. In the months following his television appearance, he set up his own YouTube channel and appeared on numerous podcasts and shows. Myers Jr.'s cousin announced his death online on June 17, 2023, but gave few details about the cause. A different family member later confirmed that Myers Jr. had suffered a heart attack at his home shortly after learning about the death of a friend. A GoFundMe page set up to help pay for funeral costs provided the funds that allowed his father to travel to New York for the service. Vianey Rodriguez appeared in My 600-Pound Life during the 7th season. Unusually, she wasn't the sole participant during this episode and actually took part in the show with husband Alan. The pair, who weighed 594 and 648 pounds respectively, explained that they had bonded over their love of food.
For the last 6 or 7 years, all we've done is stay home and eat.
This, combined with Vianey's body issues that started when her mother abused her during childhood, led them to become dangerously overweight. Knowing that they could not continue getting larger without putting themselves at severe risk, Vianey and Alan sought help from Dr. Now. Both engaged in the weight loss program wholeheartedly and lost hundreds of pounds between them. Alan was able to receive his planned surgery because of this, although Vianey's procedure was abandoned when she suffered complications that almost killed her. While Vianey managed to lose weight and get healthier, she sadly died on November 20th, 2023. Alan's brother revealed that she passed away at the Cox Medical Center in Branson, Missouri. No cause of death was provided, but it was confirmed that Vianey died suddenly and was not well at the time. When viewers were first introduced to Paul MacNeill during season 10, he was a severely obese man who weighed in excess of 750 pounds. That led to a variety of health issues, including lymphedema and an inability to carry out even basic tasks without becoming exhausted. Throughout his episode, it soon became clear that his mother had a part to play in his weight problems, enabling him by cooking whatever he wanted on command. Wanting to lose weight so he could enjoy life with his girlfriend, MacNeill was committed to the program that Dr. Now developed for him. He lost more than 200 pounds after appearing on the show and seemed to be making strides toward becoming a healthier and fitter person. He could regularly be found posting on social media to give his fans updates on his life, including his personal relationships and his continuing success in losing weight. Unfortunately, MacNeill died on September 21st, 2023, at the age of 37, when he was involved in a car accident while on his way to work. Even more tragically, he was just 2 months away from marrying his longtime girlfriend when he passed away. Ann Perez had one of the most dramatic physical transformations out of everyone to appear on the show. When she arrived during the 3rd season in 2015, she weighed 594 pounds. Understanding that this was incredibly unhealthy and also putting a huge amount of strain on her family life, Perez was determined to lose as much weight as possible, as she feared dying an early death if she didn't make any changes to her lifestyle. It emerged over several months that Perez had started comfort eating as a way of taking control following childhood sexual abuse, which she hid from her friends and family. That didn't stop her from dedicating herself to a program set by Dr. Now, which included a gastrectomy to remove a significant portion of her stomach. As a result, Perez was able to get down to 182 pounds, less than half of what she weighed when she started. Fans of the show will know that Perez had marital difficulties with her husband, Joey. The pair frequently argued, and Joey seemed to be against his wife getting healthier and becoming more independent. The couple seemingly split after she was no longer involved with My 600-Pound Life, amid rumors suggesting that Perez had found a new romantic partner. After she was absent from social media for several months, it was revealed that Perez had died on November 17, 2021 at the age of 48, although no cause of death was provided.